Hey nerds!
We're back. This is actually take two.
Kevin got to experience his first gigantic technical foul.
Yeah. We're switched, so I'm in the hot seat now. But yeah, if you watched our last video about Weird Al's tour, we're back again with the ranking of his studio albums as promised. This is from the Tearmaker website. We have his 14 studio albums in the bottom. The stuff right here, don't worry about this stuff. This is just random stuff. Basically, so I ranked all the songs that I loved on each album, and the higher on the tier list it means I love that album more.
A points-based system distributed from hit songs on each album. Or album songs you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I also skipped the polka songs. I did have to use the polka songs a couple of times as tiebreakers, but I skipped them because they're basically all the same. They're medleys of...
This is not an objective list. This is purely subjective.
Of course, as all tier lists are.
No.
As most tier lists are. So let's start out with my least favorite album. That's going to be his debut album, actually, which is Weird Al Yankovic.
Classic self-titled debut.
So the good songs off that album, we have Ricky, I Love Rocky Road, My Bologna, another one, Rise the Bus. Basically the actual parodies are the good ones on this one. The original songs he does were not great. Not too great on this album.
Yeah. This is the reason why Weird Al didn't really kind of take off as an original artist for a long time.
Second album on the list, we have Dare to Be Stupid. So that's going to go right there. So once again, I think pretty much the theme for the albums at the bottom of the tier list are that the parodies are good, but the originals are not as good as he gets later on in his career. But Like a Surgeon, Dare to Be Stupid, which is an original, which is good. I Want a New Duck, Yoda, which is one of my personal favorites. So this album actually tied on my list with Weird Al in 3D, but I like Weird Al in 3D a little bit more. I think this is one of the ones that I did have to go to the polka medley to figure out which one I liked better. So the big ones on this one: Eat It, of course, Midnight Star, which is an original, Brady Bunch, I Lost on Jeopardy, and those are really the main ones. He had a couple of good originals on this one, but overall, once again, it's the parodies that are carrying this album.
Like, I know the hits pre-Bad Hair Day.
Okay.
And then after Bad Hair Day, it's also just the hits.
So then let's see. It looks like the next one on my list is actually going to be Polka Party. So I believe these are actually the first 4 albums that he ever did, and they're his 4 worst albums according to me. It has good parodies: Living with a Hernia, Addicted to Spuds, Here's Johnny, Christmas at Ground Zero. That's an original, but it's a great song.
I think The Night Santa Went Crazy doesn't get enough respect in the Christmas song department. Out
of those 2 that he's done, Christmas at Ground Zero, and Night Santa Went Crazy, I definitely like Night Santa Went Crazy more.
Yeah.
After Polka Party, we have Poodle Hat. So this is actually one of the more recent albums. This came out in the 2000s. This one has Couch Potato, Hardware Store, Party the Leper Colony, A Complicated Song, Why Does This Always Happen to Me, eBay. So this one has a good mix of parodies and style parodies, original songs. I think I gave this album a 60% on my rating list.
60% Kevin's Tomatoes.
Alapalooza. So this was, I believe, in the 90s, just before Bad Hair Day came out. It's got Jurassic Park, Bedrock Anthem, Frakes 2000 Inch TV, Achy Breaky Song, Living in the Fridge. This one has Bohemian Polka on it, which is which is not a medley. It's just a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody, but like a polka version. So I did actually like that a lot.
Did he ever release the Hamilton polka?
I mean, you can find it on the internet, but I don't think he released it like commercially though.
It was really good though, like especially as a big fan of Hamilton.
Well, I still haven't seen Hamilton, but
I really wish you'd watch it.
But yeah, I do know. I have seen that clip on of like it's like Jimmy Fallon, right, with him and the dude, and they're like super excited about it.
Yeah. That'll be our next episode. Me and Kevin's reactions to Hamilton. I'll say 5 years late.
Let's see. After Alapalooza, we have UHF. So this is basically the soundtrack from the movie plus like some other stuff that he did.
The song he did from My Little Pony. You didn't have that on here?
I mean, if you bought the like the collectors, I forget what it's called, but it comes with the accordion and every single song he ever did, that's on there. But I don't think he ever released that on an actual album.
It was a pretty good song.
But the best song on here is probably Money for Nothing, the Beverly Hillbillies song. Gandhi 2 is funny, Isle Thing, Spatula City, Fun Zone, Spam, The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota. So he's definitely stepping up his style parody game on this one, his originals. Okay.
Sweet.
So Mandatory Fun is the next one on my list. It's got Handy, some of the other ones I liked, Foil, Sports Song, Word Crimes, My Own Eyes, Jackson Park Express. Have you heard Jackson Park Express? Mm. It's another long one like Albuquerque, where he's basically, I think he's riding the bus. Yeah, I think he's riding the bus, and he sees like this lady across the aisle, and he's kind of just imagining this conversation that he's having with this lady.
Classic.
It's really funny. We have Alpocalypse. This had, I mean, right now we're up, I believe, in the 80s according to my rating. So basically we're getting to the point where almost every song on these albums are just straight bangers. Perform This Way, TMZ, Skipper Dan, Craig's Licks, Party in the CIA, Ringtone, Another Tattoo, If Dad Isn't Love, Whatever You Like, Stop Forwarding That Crap to Me. Ton of great songs on this list. Yeah. Do you have any favorites out of those?
Perform This Way, was that not supposed to be on the album?
What do you mean?
Like, it was the Born This Way parody, right?
Yeah.
And wasn't that originally not supposed to be on the album because someone said Lady Gaga didn't approve?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the lore behind that one.
I think that's what it was. Was like they asked the publicist or something, and they said no. I don't remember what it was, but I particularly like the video to that song.
Yeah, where he's in all those different costumes. Yeah. Yeah, so Alpocalypse, great.
We're big Lady Gaga fans, and when Weird Al and Lady Gaga came together, it was,
we should do a Lady Gaga tier list. I don't know how many albums she has, but
it's like 5 or 6. Well, I'm not gonna count like the Tony Bennett one.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's like a mix, I guess.
All right, so after Alpocalypse, we have Straight Outta Linwood.
I'm surprised that's so low.
I mean, we're in the top 5 now, so it's number 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not that low. But let me pull up
because
track.
White and Nerdy might be like his best song.
I don't know about that, but once again, this is in the 80% range, so it's got a shitload of good songs. White and Nerdy, Pancreas, Canadian Idiot, Virus Alert, Confessions Part 3, Weasel Stomping Day, Do I Creep You Out, Trapped in the Drive-Thru.
If I had to pick, what I thought objectively were the best Weird Al songs, I guess it would differentiate between parody and original. But I would think White Nerdy would be in the top 5 easy.
Yeah. And also, this album does hold a special place in my heart because I did see him on this tour. Yeah. It was 2007, 2008, one of those years. Me and Beard Greg saw him when he came here to Corpus. Next is Off the Deep End. So I think before I I heard all his albums. I think Off the Deep End was probably definitely one of my favorites. As you see from the picture here, he's parodying that Nirvana, that classic Nirvana album cover where he's little babies in the pool or whatever. Smells Like Nirvana, Trigger Happy, which I'm pretty sure he's never gonna play Trigger Happy again nowadays.
Dead song.
I Can't Watch This. I Was Only Kidding. The White Stuff, When I Was Your Age. Taco Grande. Airline Amy. The Plumbing Song. You Don't Love Me Anymore. I definitely listened to this album a lot of times back in the day, for sure. The next one we're in the top 3 now. We have Even Worse. So this album is from the 80s. This is the one that has Fat on it. Fat, Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. This song's just 6 words long. I Think I'm a Clone Now, Lasagna, Melanie, Alimony, Velvet Elvis, Good Old Days. So yeah, a lot of good parodies, also a lot of good original songs on this album. But Fat, I mean, the music video for Fat is a classic. So these are the last 2 we have here. Bad Hair Day, Running with Scissors. They scored the same when I was rating them. So I kind of had to have a tiebreaker. What I decided to do is I just
flipped a coin.
I didn't,
fair thing to
didn't
do.
flip a coin. You know, Weird Al was kind of like the first musical artist I got into at all. Before, Beard Greg got me into Metallica and extreme metal, I basically just listened to Weird Al songs. For that reason, for the nostalgia reason, my first Weird Al album was Bad Hair Day, so that's going to be number 1. And then we have Running with Scissors, number 2.
What's on Running with Scissors?
Yeah, let me start out with Running with Scissors here. I think I listed every single song on here as good without counting the polkas. The Saga Begins, My Baby's in Love with Eddie Vedder, Pretty Fly for a Rabbi, the Weird Al Show theme, Jerry Springer, Germs, Your Horoscope for Today, It's All About the Pentiums, Truck Driving Song, Grapefruit Diet, Albuquerque.
Yeah, those are all pretty good.
Albuquerque for a long time I think was probably my overall favorite Weird Al song. And like we discussed before in the previous video, the extended version, I just fucking loved it so much when he did that on tour.
I recognize just the names of more of those songs than I did when I was going over the Bad Hair Day list earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that Bad Hair Day is better.
Yeah, so we are in agreement. Bad Hair Day is going to be number 1.
I thought you would have had Straight Outta Linwood higher.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's in the top 5. So Bad Hair Day, Amish Paradise, Everything You Know Is Wrong, Cavity Search, Calling In Sick, Since You've Been Gone, Gump, I'm So Sick of You, Syndicated Incorporated, I Remember Larry, Phony Calls, and The Night Santa Went Crazy.
The earlier when we were going over the track list, I didn't recognize any of the names, but that doesn't surprise me because back then I didn't have you know what I mean? Like you just have this CD, you put your CD and you listen to it. I don't keep the case or I don't have the case or the booklet, you know what I mean? And so I don't remember the song. That's still true to this day. Like there's a lot of Gorilla songs. One of my favorite bands. Like I don't remember the names of the songs, but
yeah, same here. I don't remember the titles of the songs as much anymore, but
of the deep tracks.
Yeah, but yeah, Bad Hair Day number 1. Like I said, it was probably like the first art musical album that I owned.
Me too. Like honestly, that was like one of my first handful of CDs that I ever owned.
And I think this is probably Bad Hair Day was probably the height of its popularity, right?
Yeah, Amish Paradise was huge. I would say White and Nerdy brought him back for pretty strong. Like I remember that being everywhere. That had radio play on all hip hop stations.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm saying that song was phenomenal. But Amish Paradise when it came out, that was everywhere. The music video was everywhere. We used to take VHS tapes and record our favorite music videos, and then watch them later. This was years before YouTube, right? And so we would just get on MTV, VH1, Fuse or whatever, and we would record music videos. Amish Paradise was still showing up years later.
But yeah, this is basically it. This is my tier list, or not tier list, but this is my ranking. I guess let us know in the comments what you thought. If you want to move something around, let us know.
Let us know what your favorite Weird Al song is, because I'm super curious about that.
And also, let us know if this video was any good.
If you want to see more,
if you want to
tier
see
lists.
Yeah, if you want to see more tier lists, I think this website Tiermaker lets us make an account, and we can just make some more tier lists and see what y'all think. Catch you guys next time then.